Hi, Warriors. Could be a good day. Turn around Tuesday to fade the bounce in the Euro cable. Aussie, perhaps. Hello, Michael. AJ. Ran all the way through the end of the year. I'm going to do it. Is that a prediction? Hi, Glenn.
Hey,
Ryan,
Dave.
how are you?
Hey.
Sinatra. Peter, I didn't throw away the magic wand.
Good
I,
morning, Coach.
I'll use it again. Hey, Blake.
Morning, Dale.
Hey, how are you, Ryan? So,
This market's going to go down like P. Diddy.
which one?
I don't know. I don't know, but did you hear the news overnight? I'm like so not shocked.
What was it?
Puff Daddy's got
Oh,
arrested for sex
oh,
trafficking and all this other garbage.
yeah.
It's
Boy,
a
those
it's an Epstein
ish like the
situation again.
wow, wow.
Yeah, except in the music industry. Crazy, right?
Gosh, I mean, he had it made to throw it all away.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he was always a very shady character. It's so interesting. So I mean, there's nothing else going on, so it's like my wife is knee deep into this story, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. He
yeah,
did. He had it all. He had it all.
yeah. Well, you know, you open the door to things that it just are overpowering. But his door was always open. The success happened despite it. So anyway, back to Euro. Um, Looking at Euro here, nice little bounce. Uh, I think we're close to, I don't think we should do much more. I haven't done the retraces yet, Blake, but yeah, it's not a very big bounce, which is even more bearish, right? I mean, the weakness probably like 38%, just
That's
eyeballing
exactly
it.
it. Your eyeballs are good.
All
That
right.
was that 38% retracement was our bias chart resistance yesterday. And yeah,
Okay.
so it's really at 108.57 and right where we're
Okay.
at. So
And I don't even think this is 38% in cable. Um,
the cable is all no, it's shy of it, which it actually comes in at 120.27.
yeah, so
So
I mean, this is like 23%. It's even weaker.
yeah, that's
Maybe we're
exactly it.
we're
Yep.
forming maybe some type of flag. Here's your flagpole. So there
Yeah.
could be a pretty good, nice measured move. Maybe it breaks down back under 26. So
Dale, you have ForexAnalytix up, so you can just kind of see my chart. Just go over to if you can go over the pound and go over to basic technical analysis, you'll see this the yeah right in
yeah,
the
I'm
middle
just
there.
getting, yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
basic
then
tech.
yeah, you hit yeah, and then you hit the 4 hour or hit the daily chart because then if you click the daily, you'll see the channel it's in,
Yeah,
and it's bare like you just pointed out 24% retracement. It's barely holding this channel. I mean, if we break that channel, then
yeah. Then it's Wile E. Coyote time.
what Wiley Coyote off of the cliff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. I don't know if
Yeah,
everybody gets that uh, you know
Roadrunner, the Roadrunner
not everybody
cartoons.
gets the old Roadrunner Looney Tunes
Oh gosh. Well,
because
they should you look it up on YouTube. They're hilarious.
yeah,
So
and Dale, I think a lot of people don't remember Saturday morning cartoons, and
that
and
was after.
when we had like three TV stations, things like that.
Oh, you do.
Mm.
Gosh.
I used to get
Yeah.
up at Saturday mornings at 5 in the morning and just watch snow until cartoons started. I mean, that's how things worked.
And you had to get off your ass to go and change the channel as well.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
oh yeah. God, can you imagine having to do that? No wonder we're obese.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, Dale.
uh
There's one thing that there's been a lot of talk about this, and it's not so much in you've been talking about it, but not everybody's been talking about it. But people talking about it in different ways. This eclipse that's coming up on the 9th of
Yeah,
April. It's
yeah.
a big one, right? It's like tell us a little bit about it and why you think it could be a market mover. I mean, it's such a like one that's gonna be the biggest in our lifetime or something like that. I don't know much
Yeah, I'm
about
not,
it. I just
I think we had something like this in 2018. It's the way it traverses the whole United States, where there'll be totality, and it makes like an X from the 2018, like going in the, just the letter X. If you follow the path from 2018, this one, it had a line, kind of like a trend line from left to right going up, and now you have one trend line from the upper side going down that crosses it. And the reason is really ancient people. Can you imagine before science, uh, when the earth would turn dark in the middle of the day?
yeah.
And those civilizations were pretty advanced when it came to study of astronomy and so forth. So they always felt it was a harbinger of not great things, wars, famine, and this devil comet that's going to be around at the same time, that's going to be a color blue. Um, that's pretty, throw something else into the mix. Comets were also harbingers of um, disaster.
Huh.
So, it's, probably in our DNA that we get excited about it because it was important. And the change of seasons, their ancient architecture was designed so they'd have these windows when the sun and the moon would line up for these kind of events and the seasons. So, um, yeah, it goes back thousands of years of, people, you know, interpreting them. I guess there must have been bad things that happened. You could go back to the prior eclipses, and I've seen them. I'm not an expert, but there's usually some kind of news or events that uh, are tragic.
Yeah, I
So,
mean well actually you would go back to 2018. Isn't that when President Trump looked into the eclipse? Is that the one? Same thing? When
oh
there's a
yeah,
big
I think so.
the
Did he
big
look
meme where he's
into
staring up into the sky without
glass?
any eye protection.
Oh, that's why then. Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, that's
Oh, anyway.
okay."
All right. Well, I would hope that someone that may be president again has their vision. So, uh, anyway, Blakey,
Anyway,
I've
we're
never heard
back
you
to the
this
markets.
off topic
Yeah.
since I've been with you. And you know what? Everyone out there, we're only about a week away from the 7th anniversary of the F.A.C.E show. So, seven's a number of completion. It's an important number. So 7 years, a
Are we
tenth of
really?
my
Gosh, I'm
life.
glad you keep track of these dates. That's
Well, I
awesome,
remember
Dale.
we started April 1st, 7 years
Really?
ago. Yeah.
Gosh, that's
You had
amazing.
been running, FA had been open, and I don't know if you guys were doing webinars or anything before that, but um, that was the first F.A.C.E webinar.
Wow.
We started in April.
Yeah, 7 years. 7 good years, Dale. All
Seven
right.
years of plenty. We don't want that expression. Anyway, let's see. Gold. Uh, I see a two drive there. So we either fail here or blow to one more new high. Silver's kind of bringing up the rear, but I mean, it's a completely different look. This almost looks like some kind of flag. We take this out, we could go to 23 and a half. And gosh, Peter Bookfire brought up when we were talking about the dollar. He goes, it depends. There are other currencies that even when we had bouts of dollar strength like this, it really didn't respond. So can you imagine if we had a bear market in the dollar and we broke down under par, where USD MEX would be? If the dollar, really went into a bear market, because look how strong it's been when the dollar has, basically been stable.
Oh
So
yeah, I mean the dollar max. I remember trading it when it was at 10. I remember when it was 10 handle, and that's
yeah,
when Jim Cramer was on CNBC, and I happened to be long the dollar max at 10 and change, and he's
yeah,
like, "Oh, it's gonna break 10," and he was like super bearish, and
yeah.
he was on CNBC touting it, and I'm like, you mother, and that was like that is the day that it actually turned higher and rallied straight to 20. It like literally doubled
You
after
know,
that
they
day.
actually have a ETF that fades every call that he makes.
Yeah, and that was I know that was in 2011 or 2012 because I was working. That was when I moved back to Arizona, but I was working at my friend's hedge fund office down the street, and I would get up at 2:15 in the morning to get to the office by 3:15, so I could do the morning broadcast, the morning edge at that time.
Yeah.
But it was so ridiculous. But I remember being in that office when Kramer said that. So
I I remember, I don't know the year. It was probably in the late 70s when they were trading currencies on chalkboards at the Merc,
yeah.
and there was a devaluation, a big one, overnight. And I don't know, about 30 guys were on the wrong side of that and lost their memberships.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
one overnight move ruined their career. I go, what a business, you know,
Yeah. It's
in one night.
how many people did the Swiss National Bank knock out when they
Uh,
removed the floor? I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah,
And you know what? The market hasn't had a lot of volatility. I know it's kind of quiet, by the way. Volatility is low. There's not a lot going on. This is a week as we go into holiday week. We got a big solar eclipse happening, so we're just kind of going around just talking about different things. But listen, this market is scary low volatility. Like, it's the reason why I bring up like the eclipse and whatnot. I can't see like a reason why we're going to see an uptick in volatility. And usually when I can't see a reason is when a reason kind of sneaks up on you or the market in
yeah,
this case.
yeah,
And volatility is very low. You think about the central bank put that's in the market right now. Central banks are globally,
yeah,
minus Bank of Japan. Central banks globally are going to be cutting rates. If they haven't cut rates already, they're going to be cutting rates. That's a natural put you have in the market. Economic data is strong. I don't see any recessionary data from the US. Status quo, volatility is low. I didn't mean to rhyme, but stocks continue to grind higher. Commodities are higher. You've got gold up at 2,200 again. You got Bitcoin back above 70,000. And like I said this morning on my morning tweet out to let everybody know that we're starting, what's not to love? And when things are this good, there's something lurking around the corner, and maybe it's a lunar eclipse. Maybe it's Russia blames the US instead of Ukraine. I don't know. Things are a little quiet and a little too quiet, and that does start to worry me a bit.
yeah. Well, Netanyahu canceled, I think it was his trip or some uh, up, you know, high leadership, the trip to Washington, because the U.S. abstained at the UN on the resolution for an immediate ceasefire. So if they go into Rafah, um, who knows what that's going to entail. But something technically that I've noticed is this could still be a failing rally in the S&Ps. New high. I saw a post by Grega. He's looking for about 5,400, a continuation through month end. That'd be a lot of hard work. In what we have 4 days left in the month, but that's what he's looking for. So you have the potential of failing rallies in indexes, and even though gold is a monster, it still could be a failing rally. Bitcoin not making new highs.
Yet.
It could be a failing rally. It's not at new highs. So you have a lot of things that, they better keep going, or you have failing rallies setting up across different asset classes.
Yeah.
Dollar bounce, could be a fade here. So anyway, be alert. Everyone's being lulled to sleep and thinks nothing can happen this week because it's a holiday week, but
That's right.
we'll
And before I take the charts I'm going to get some comments from Ryan. I see Grega's here. I'd love to get Grega's views on the market. So Grega, how you doing today?
Hey, can you hear me?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. A little light.
You got the charts now, bro.
Yeah, I can grab it. Just a second.
For those of you that don't know who Grega is, he provides Elliott wave analysis on the ForexAnalytix platform for the 30 products that we have that we cover. So, Grega, it's nice to have you here. We don't get you here every day. So, what are you seeing?
I will catch you up. Just let the Europe change the hour finally.
Yeah. When do you guys do the time change? Is it this weekend?
It should be this weekend.
Man, I'm not gonna be able to listen to Flow Show anymore, Ryan. A little bummed out about that.
Oh, well, you have to get up earlier.
No, thank you, but I appreciate it.
So I still think that US yields will come to the downside at some point, but it looks like that when looking at notes that we are still in this consolidation phase that could be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So it looks like that now for the end of the month, end of the quarter, ahead of Easter holidays, as you said yourself, we may not see any kind of a big breakouts just yet. But looking at stocks, since you mentioned it earlier, yes, I'm looking for another push to the upside, but keep in mind that we are in really late stages here of the higher degree impulse. So we are coming out of this triangle, and I really would not be looking for any kind of an extended target here. I just think that sooner or later we are going to either stay sideways or even see a deeper correction. If we fall back below 52.40, 38, then I think that the higher degree correction would already take place. But that would not be bearish. I just think that maybe some higher degree pose is definitely something that we should consider. If you look at VIX, I'm looking at this just as a simple roadmap for stocks that goes back to December, and you can see that we are moving to the lower side of this range. So it looks like that stocks could be approaching potential resistance here. So for some midterm call, I just think that maybe it's better to wait on stocks before we could reach potential supports, because VIX obviously should maybe spike higher by then. Looking at dollar index, I think it's a very visible neutral zone here. But as we discussed, Dale, 106, I still think it's a very important level up there. It could be reached maybe in April, where I would be looking for very strong potential resistance. So for now, it looks like the dollar is either going to stay sideways or even can be turning slightly higher here for 105, 106, as I said, because this drop clearly has been just temporary and corrective. We broke out of this downward channel, so I think just that we have to respect the potential recovery. I think that tomorrow, very interesting, could be Aussie. I think that tomorrow we have the CPI data from Australia.
Yeah.
And for the last 4 months or so, 4 or 5 readings, there were constantly inflation that was softening. So if once again, I think the expectations are 3.5%, the previous reading was 3.4. So if we come back to 3.4 or even lower, I think that based on other central banks, what they're doing, that Aussie could see a very nice potential reversal to the downside. And if we try to merge this with the Elliott wave look, I think that we have a very nice ongoing potential triangle. We are testing this trend line, but we could be in a wave E just ahead of this important data. So if we really start seeing breaking down here below that trend line, then I think more weakness here could be potentially in the cards for Aussie. On the opposite side of, yeah. Did someone want to say something?
Oh, I just said like it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, but for now it's still neutral. We just have to see this maybe data coming out, and then if we break 65, then I think that this could make sense to reach for potential lower prices. Now on the opposite side of this, I mean, the Mexican peso is still possibly the best trade to be long versus against the US dollar, or maybe even better against Swiss franc. But for now, it looks like that we could be consolidating here for wave 4, maybe slightly longer here, but eventually I'm looking for a breakdown. We already broke this trend line that goes back to 2023 summer lows. We retested it, so I think that more weakness here can be in the cards in the next few weeks. And if dollar will just consolidating, maybe that will be enough for Mexican peso to come higher versus the US dollar. So that's it.
Nice. What about gold here, Grega?
Gold, yeah, I mean,
You have new highs coming, or that this could be a failing rally?
I just think that even if we see new high here, I still think it would be a limited upside. If you look at silver is much weaker. Silver lost last week, what, 4%, if not more.
It hasn't even bounced today either.
Yeah, not anywhere close compared to silver to gold, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so let me just open the chart. Yeah, you can actually see that we are still holding. If we take a look here on a smaller time frame, we are still holding highs from Friday, while gold is much higher. So I just think that this tells us that metals are in consolidation. So even if gold breached a new high, I just think that it's not worth to trust any potential real breakouts. I think that it's period of consolidation here in the near term.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Grega. I appreciate it, and I know we appreciate your looks. I'll take over from here real quick because we've got less than 10 minutes and we got some data coming out. Ryan, real quick, and again, thank you, Grega. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the Aussie, and I'm gonna just kind of reiterate what some of the things that Grega said. But I agree with him because Matt was asking about the Aussie ahead of CPI. Well, we all know that this 65-cent level is very, very key. Bounces have been shallow, and as Grega pointed out, and I'm going to reiterate it, the data that we've seen out of Australia, or excuse me, out of China, Australia, the Pacific, Asian current countries as well, is that we just get this constant disinflationary data. So when you look at expectations, and let's go over to tonight's data. Let's see, this is Wednesday, this is Tuesday, it should be right. What day am I? Today's 26. I just want to confirm where we're at as far as the day goes. I don't see the Aussie data here. If you look at I don't know why it's not on here right now. Oh, there it is. No, that's retail sales. Where's the CPI data? I don't know why it's not on here at the moment. Anyway, as Grega pointed out, I have it on my other screen. It is at 3.5%. They're expecting an uptick, and we've seen a consistent miss all throughout this year. And really over the last like 5 or 6 data prints. So if it does come in below expectations and we don't get that uptick, that is a risk I think there is with the Aussie. And then if you match it up, next to copper, you match it up next to the S&P, which we've talked a lot about over the course of the last couple of weeks here. Let's just go ahead and I'll just throw copper up really quick. You can see here's copper, and you can put up the S&P as well. You look at these two markets, obviously there's a SPOOS in turquoise, and then you have copper, a recent rally just in this orange line here. Aussie hasn't been responsive at all. So if you get those two markets pushing lower, the Aussie is going to break. It just can't even keep its head above water. So below 65 cents is going to be very bearish. I think, Dale, we've talked a lot about it testing the 63-cent level eventually, and I don't see why that's not going to happen. I run Aussie shorts, not necessarily through the dollar, but I've been running Aussie shorts over the last couple of weeks. If you're in the ForexAnalytix community, you can see exactly what trades I'm taking. So if
you're not, I have to ask you, why not?
Yeah. I mean, shoot,
my question.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Anyway, you should be. But that's the Aussie. That's how I feel about the Aussie right now. And I think there is a big risk ahead of this week, or ahead of we not only have CPI today or tonight or tomorrow morning in Australia, we have retail sales 24 hours later. So a couple of pieces of data that we do have coming out. Ryan, I wanted to get your comments in really quick. What's hot on your radar today? What are you looking at today? Because it's been fairly quiet, but I don't like this quietness that we're seeing.
Yeah, well, it's natural to be quiet after such a busy week last week.
True.
We've got nothing to give us that sort of lofty levels. But we've got durable goods. That's going to be important. I'm going to be looking for some of the subcomponents within that to see if there's any indications for this US consumer that I've got a couple of question marks over. And then the conference board consumer confidence later, which has done nothing but head lower so far this year, a bit like the Michigan. So again, just seeing if there's anything wobbly coming in from the consumer. We've had a couple of signals that I'm keeping an eye on. Get a few more, then we start to get a trend, and that'll pique my interest about maybe thinking about shorting some dollars.
And we have Keith's Schiller House Price Index, and actually the housing data that came in yesterday, the new home sales, came in a little weaker than expected. I was actually surprised about that, just because the home builders have been really on top of just adding inventory to the U.S. housing inventory issue, because no one wants to sell homes, so they ripping up new homes left and right all over the United States. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to watch house price index, because house price index is where most Americans carry the majority of their wealth. So as long as that house price index doesn't get too crazy in the coming months, then the economy should stay consumer part of the economy should stay fairly strong. That starts a weekend, you might see behavior change
That was one of the things that came out, that number I noted on the Flow Show this morning. The medium sale price was down some 7.6% over last year. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. But remember that the median house price in the sales numbers yesterday was for February. These house prices are for January, so there's a bit of a lag between them. Got it.
All right. Well, I'm personally, I'm going to just keep an eye on the dollar. I think the dollar is holding pretty steady, and the sterling, I think, has to stay on the radar. You can see previous support acting as current resistance, as Dale pointed out earlier. Can't even get above a 24% retracement. And I don't think we're going to break below the 126 level today, but I think that's a big risk, especially
saying we're not broadcasting on YouTube
today.
I think earlier they said. Anyway, the show's half over.
Yeah, so it's pretty much over right now. So glad you all made it to the show via Zoom, because it's always going to be on Zoom. And
hey, Peter, could I ask you? I know we have data. Why do you prefer to watch a show on YouTube rather than come in to Zoom?
Yeah, and plus you can ask questions on you can ask questions on YouTube.
I'm just wondering. That's all.
Yeah, it's a good question. I am going to change this over to the dollar yen really fast, and we all obviously got to keep an eye on the dollar yen. The thing doesn't want to back away from 152, does it, Ryan?
No, very very sticky up there. It's really doesn't know what it wants to do up here. I still can't call it either way personally. So yeah, I'm sitting on my hands with this one at the moment.
All right. Well, we got durable goods coming out. We have the dollar yen on the left, S&P right in the middle, and yields on the right. And let's
also Philly Fed Services are coming out as well.
Data should be out in 1 second or a few seconds. Since
Good durables beat.
oh yeah, little downside revision there. Do you see the core number? Oh, never mind. It just came out better than expected too. So dollar is not doing a whole lot. Yields tick up a little bit. Good data. Stocks don't
S&P
really
is
like
coming
it
off
too
a
much,
little.
but the stock market's got nowhere to go but higher
Yeah.
at this stage. You know, I
Philly
don't-
Fed was poor, down 18.3 versus a prior down 8.8.
That is an ugly number. Hold on, I'm just looking around really quick. All right. Well, you know, we're just seeing the dollar not doing a whole lot. So let me just leave you with a couple levels. I know Dale's going to take over here in 1 second. 5,200 is previous resistance, should act as current support. The channel support, since we're I've done the anatomy of a blow off top where we have, you know, channel, new channel, new channel. So the new channel, newest channel right now that is developed is this blue one. So that means if we get below 5,200 in the S&P, just below that's like 5,175. That's really got to hold for bulls. We start getting below that, then we have to start, you know, getting a little worried about, you know, the prospects of further upside in the equity markets. But right now, volatility is low, markets are grinding higher. You know, dollar yen looks liable to break out. You got Bitcoin above 70,000. You got gold, you know, holding up. So, and you know, Nikkei's rallying. DAX is still pushing out. Did you guys see? And by the way, I'm going to pass it over to Dale right now. But
The Nikkei?
no, take a look at the DAX. We even
Wow.
like accelerated highs. Like the S&P, you get, you know, the throwover that ends up not being a throwover, right? You get this breakout above channel resistance, and that just sets a new vertical move in the market. So, you know, another accelerated move higher in the German DAX, which
Who
is
said Germany's in recession?
says their PMIs are crap. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Dale, is your person here?
Yeah, but I need your help to promote Bob Coleman because
Yeah,
I've
you
tried
bet.
10 times.
I'm gonna do that right now. So I'll let you wrap things up, and I'll go grab Bob.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan, buddy.
Cheers,
mate.
guys.
Cheers, Ryan. And
Thank
thanks,
you,
Grega.
Blake, buddy, mate. Thank you, Wizard, buddy, mate.
Thank you, guys.
Nice presentation. Stop copying my work, Grega.